Hiya, I'm not running today, but I do have something I want to share with you that's happening today related to running. I've had a few people tell me that when you want to take up serious running or exercise in that form specifically, I don't know about other exercises, but especially men, although women too, should get an ECG. I'm not medical enough to know what an ECG really is. I know it's got something to do with measuring your heart. I don't know what it's going to tell me or what it's going to do. I'm not concerned. I think I've had an ECG before, but like many years ago, probably about 15 years ago. But I'm getting that done today. And I just wanted to share that because it is part of sort of the running journey and the training, I suppose, for a marathon or, preparations. And also it seems like an important thing to share. Now, I'm very lucky to be in the UK where we have the NHS and I can do it for free. I understand that that might not be an option for everyone. And I could see why it maybe wouldn't be a priority if you have to pay loads of money if you're in, for example, America. But if you can, apparently it's important, and I just want to raise awareness to that. Now also, I did my run on Sunday, it is now Wednesday. I definitely felt it, and I actually today it doesn't seem as bad, but definitely Monday and Tuesday I could feel it in my legs. I did notice that my left leg, which is where the injury was more sore, but it doesn't seem to be pain in the exact same place. It's still my quad, but it seems more central than it was before. It was closer to the inside of my leg, and this is more central, I guess. I don't know how to describe things. And so I'm really hoping that that's just because that leg maybe was a bit weaker and so pushing a bit harder, but not that I've already got the injury back, because that would not be very fun for me. I won't be able to run this weekend because it's Chag, it's Pesach, it's Passover, but I do have tomorrow and Friday morning off, so maybe I will, by morning I mean like all day, 9 to 5. So maybe I'll try and go for another short run on one of those days and just see how it goes. But I will let you know about that. I just really wanted to let you know about the ECG. Maybe I'll talk about it when I get back. Maybe it won't be exciting enough, but I just want to raise awareness to it. All right, I will see you at some point. Hello, first of all, just to say that the ECG yesterday went really well. It was super chill. I really recommend getting one if you can. I got to the hospital, waited maybe 15-20 minutes and then went in to do the ECG. They stick a bunch of things over your chest and then you just lie there for 20 seconds and that's it, and then you leave. So it's really easy. The doctor who was doing it said it all looked normal, but that they would send it to my GP and they can let me know, but they seem to be happy enough, so that's good. I've been saying to myself for a couple of days now that I'm going to go for a run either today or tomorrow because I won't be able to go over the weekend, and also once it gets to Pesach I won't be able to sustain myself well enough to run. I can't have any carbs. But this morning I've really been struggling to find the motivation. But I think I'm gonna get into my fitness gear, my running gear now, and then do a nice warm up. And then again, I'm just gonna go for 20 minutes. I'm keeping it short for now because I want to be careful. So I will get into running gear and slowly build myself up to getting ready to run. Yay. It's so interesting to me that once I'm dressed, I already feel so much more motivated. It's just the getting dressed that's really a roadblock for me. I'm gonna do a warm-up and then we shall run. And even having gotten into gear, I'm now thinking maybe I'll do 4 kilometers today. Maybe if I feel up for it, we'll push myself that little tiny bit further. We shall see. Or even an extra 500 meters, one extra lap in the park. That should be just something. We'll see. Warm-up time. Hello. As you would have seen, I've just walked in and I was like, I don't know what to do first. Do I drink something? Because obviously I'm thirsty, which I have now done. Do I cool down? Or do I go to the bathroom? Because my stomach was feeling really funky towards the last kilometre or so of that run. But it felt funky, not in the sense of needing to go to the bathroom. So I'm leaving that option for now. We'll probably come back to it at some point. I have drunk some water, so I'm gonna do a thorough cool down now, and then I'm going to shower and change and, and then I think I'll chat to you. I don't think I'm gonna record my cooling down because I just feel like I need the time to myself without worrying about a camera being there, and also how to set it up, where to set it up, all that jazz. I will talk to you later. Hello. I've come out of the shower and I've put makeup on because I have to do an audition tonight. But let's talk about this run, and also let's have a look at what Strava wants me to fill in. It stresses me out that I need to I don't know if I can save it and then like edit it later. But for now, I'm just sort of leaving the page open and not saving it until I've got the details, which is annoying, stressful. What's the date today? Thursday noon. Also, I realized I had planned to go to a dance class tomorrow, and I would still very much like to go if I can, but I also want to see how my legs feel when I wake up before committing. Anyway, let's keep looking at this. It was training again. Do you know, it wasn't as hard this time. I don't want anyone to see it. And we're gonna save it. I panicked for a second there because it said my average tempo was 6:55, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I was faster today, but I'm looking at the wrong one. Where is my new one? My friend in Holland who runs as well, oh, my battery is about to die. My friend in Holland who runs as well has just posted a thing that says easy run, and the distance is 7 kilometers. How can 7 kilometers be easy? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, where's my run? It's not showing it. Don't do this to me. Not again. All right, well, we'll give it a moment to see if it starts to recognize. No, it says there was a problem. That's not good. There we go. Okay, good. It did save it. So I did 4.14 kilometers, so it's definitely longer than last time. And I also definitely ran more than last time. I ran up half the hill and then only walked sort of the second half and then ran again. Funnily enough, my average tempo actually isn't that much faster at 6:50, but that's okay. And I was running for 28 minutes, so I'm quite pleased with that. Where's my... Oh, here we go. I find this so funny. Why is this the way it is? So what I didn't realize last time when I showed you this is that the darker gray is showing the inclination of my run. And I like here that you can see the 3 triangles sort of the 3. I think I did 4 laps actually, but anyway, I like that it does recognize that. But what I love as well is right here at the end, when it goes really high is exactly when my speed goes really low. I don't know what that dip is there or there. Maybe it just like stopped measuring it for a second, I don't know. And there's a huge spike at one point. What does it say? It says I was doing 2:07 per kilometers or whatever, however you say tempo, I don't know. I don't believe that one bit. So a number of times while I was training for the 10K, I think I mentioned that I really felt a dip between sort of 1.5 kilometers and about 3. For some reason today, it was really the opposite. After about 1.5 kilometers, like the first 1.5 kilometers, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Again, I keep thinking that. But then after I got to that point, it was playing a song. What was it playing? I Got You, I think, which isn't even a song I know that well, but maybe the beat or something was helping me out. I don't know. But I just really felt in a groove, and like it wasn't a struggle at all. It did get harder towards the end, sort of, yeah, just before I left the park, I would say. That must have been around like 3.5, I would say, I guess. No, maybe even earlier. I don't know. But it was very much the opposite of usual. But I'm really glad I pushed myself that little bit further than last week and that I ran more. Now, I'm curious. Obviously, we're very early on in the training session. I really hope my legs will be okay. But currently, I'm averaging just under 7 minutes per kilometer. So if I were to do 7 for 21 kilometers, how long would that take me? And obviously that's implying that I don't stop to walk at all, which, I mean, the chances that I'll walk is very, very high. But this says 147, so that's 2 hours, 27, that's like 2.5 hours. If I could do a half marathon in 2.5 hours, I will be very proud of myself. I think that might be a good goal to have because, I mean, I definitely think I'll be walking, but if I can speed up my running bits a little bit, maybe. I can't remember what I did my 10K in. I think it was about 1 hour 10, just under. So theoretically, I should be able to do 2.5 hours. We shall see. We shall see. Anyway, that run did feel good, and it felt so much easier than the one I did last week or earlier in the week. It's amazing how quickly, how hard it was to go back into it after 6 weeks off, but then, doing another run a few days later really wasn't as bad. As I say, between 1.5 and 3 kilometers, I felt like I was just, I could have kept going forever, except that I then did get tired. And also I wanted to look after myself. Like if I had set the goal for 5 kilometers today, I definitely think I could have done that, but I need to take it slow. The only other thing that is worth noting is it was a bit cooler today than it was on Sunday. So, that probably made it easier. Although the sun was shining and I definitely felt it. At some point, I'm going to have to start putting on sun cream when I'm going for runs. Not looking forward to that. Anyway, that's the update for today. I will see you whenever I see you next. Bye! Hello. It is bang on 6 and I've just walked through the door. The only thing I've done so far is plug my headphones into the charger because about half an hour, 40 minutes ago, I got a warning saying low battery. And I want to go for a run. Do I want to go for a run? Am I going to go for a run? Yeah. Have I been thinking about it for a number of hours? Yeah. I think I'm gonna try and do 5k, which is another kilometre up, I think, from what I did last time. We shall see. As always, I'm gonna listen to my body, but equally, I've had the last few, mainly mornings, I would say, where I'm sort of stretching. It's before I properly get up and I'm still lying in bed, and I can feel that I'm tensing my calf muscles. And as I'm doing that, it isn't just like a nice stretch, it's like it stays stuck in that position and like it almost cramps up. I don't quite know how to explain it. And I was kind of thinking it was probably just me sleeping funny, my body struggling with anything because my body just does. But a little bit later on today, I had the realization that actually maybe it is from having started back up with the running and that my legs are kind of like, come on, we want to move, we want to do stuff. I'm wondering if it's that. I could be wrong, but it's another reason to go for a run today. And also if I don't go today, technically I could go tomorrow after work, but am I gonna want to? Especially because I'll probably stay in pajamas tomorrow because I'm working from home. And then it's Shabbat and Chag, and so I wouldn't have until Monday, but I'm working Monday, so again it would have to be after work on Monday. And also by that point it's been 10 days since my last run because I did my last one on Thursday because of Chag. Chag is Jewish holidays. So I think I'm just gonna go for it. And the weather does seem to be good. It's a bit cooler, which I like. I did eat lunch over 3 hours ago now, at 2:30 I think. No, maybe even 2:15. So that probably wasn't very much. But then I did have a packet of bisli, which is wheat snacks, although in this case it's made of matzah meal because it's Pesach, Passover. But I had that about an hour ago, maybe 30, 40 minutes, around the same time my headphones warned me of low battery. So I do have some food in me. I am staring at my chocolate cupcakes, but I think I will leave them for my treat when I get back. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I have not been feeding myself very well the last few days because it is Pesach and I really struggle to eat during Pesach, and you can't have that many carbs. I've had potatoes every night and I've had quinoa for most lunches, so I suppose those are carby things, but I very much feel that I'm not fully nourished. So we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna aim for 5k, but equally if I don't make it, I'm not gonna be too hard on myself. The main goal is to not be in pain in my legs. That's what we're aiming for. On, I think it was last Friday, so almost a week ago now, I had to walk somewhere. It wasn't a very long walk, it was maybe 5-10 minutes, and I did feel a little bit of that same pain that I had 2 months ago. So I wasn't thrilled about that, but I'm hoping that was just very nothing. I'm hoping that didn't count because it's not been a problem since. So I'm gonna do a proper warm-up, get out of the jeans because I don't think we'll be running in jeans, drink some water because I can already feel a headache coming on, and that's because I haven't drunk enough today, and then go. Yay. I have been very inspired by Instagram. Again, I've been getting a lot of running content and that does help me a lot, which is why I'm talking to you now, I think, because I'm I wanna encourage people. Let's do this. Hello. I have just put on leggings, I've not done anything else, but I realised as I was putting them on, I don't think I've ever spoken to you guys about my running gear except maybe the stuff that I bought in Australia, so I thought we'll just do a little chat now just about what I'm wearing today, and then I'll do a proper chat about all the various running things I have. It's not very much, it's probably not enough, but we'll figure that out as we intensify our training. But today I am wearing full leg leggings. I have a full length, one pair that's full length, and then 3 pairs that are 3/4, although 2 of those pairs I try not to wear for running because I tend to wear them more day to day. And this one, as you may have seen, is sort of a greeny blue, mainly blue though, colour, but it's just slightly more green and slightly lighter, I would say, than the other pair I have. And it's from the company called Rockwear, which I believe is an Australian company, and I have got a bunch of clothes from them because we found an outlet that was heavily discounted, and I ended up spending the equivalent of about £10 on each item. And when I say I mean my darling mother, which was very kind of her. Now I'm just putting on some very basic black socks that I got when I was in Greece, and I was very angry because this was when I was working in Greece and we had to wear black socks, and I've never worn black socks in my life. I always wear colourful or white, and I really wasn't in the mood to buy socks. I'm not even quite sure. I don't remember buying these myself. I think one of my colleagues did. And actually I found that they're the perfect size for running, and I don't mind like if I sweat or grossify them or bleed. It's fine. Then once I've done some of my warm-up, I like to start warming up without trainers, but once I've done some of my warm-up, I will put these shoes on. These are the slightly newer ones. I've only run in them, I think, a total of maybe 5 times, but they are Asics. I don't know if you can see. They're a little bit big, but one size down was definitely too small. They don't feel like they give me quite as much support as my other pair, but my other pair I want to try and save for longer runs because I've had those since 2021. So I want to keep the good pair for like the serious runs and race day, and these hopefully will be more training shorter runs. If I find that I'm really struggling, or if the other pair dies completely or is like too old, I'll buy a new pair, but I don't fancy that seeing as I only bought these like 3 months ago. Oh, I'm warm. Also, my hair's a mess. That's because it was up in a bun, which was quite neat earlier, but then once I put my headphones on, it just, the flyaways fly away. And then for my running top today, I'm going to wear this orange one, which I've worn for the last few runs, but has gone in the wash each time. And it looks as though this is from a brand called Runhill. Can you see that? That's the brand. But I bought it in a charity shop, I think for £3, maybe 4. And it's very nice material. It's great colour as well, because like you'll be spotted, and also it's orange and I'm Dutch, so yay. But the real reason I've worn this the last few runs rather than any of my other running tops, and I've got quite a few, one of which I still haven't worn once, which is my cancer research one. But the reason is because I like the slightly longer sleeves for when it's slightly cooler, even though it's still been too warm for my liking. I want to try and save the shorter sleeves for when it gets really warm. So we're staying in the shorter sleeves, or in the longer sleeves, sorry, for now. So let me just throw this on. Ta-da! Did it work? I don't know, I've never done that before, but I hope it worked. I'm gonna fix my hair and I'm gonna warm up, and then we're gonna go! We'll find some motivation from somewhere. I believe in me. I'm sure my hair is a mess. Let's warm up and go for it. I'm a strong believer. I don't like warming up, but I do know how very important it is, so I do bestow my time to it. Let's go. I still haven't drunk any water. I need to do that. I'm gonna drink some water. Right, I feel very warm. This flat heats up very quickly, but also I think, you know, I was decent to my legs. I'm sure there is more I could be doing, and I'm sure that there are better ways to do the things that I am doing, but I'm really doing my best. So, you know, if you do have advice, please feel free. If you have any videos or anything to recommend that I can copy from, be my guest. Please do share things. But in the meantime, I'm gonna attempt this. I need to just grab, the only things I bring with me are headphones, which I wear, phone, which I have with me to track and listen to, and keys. That's all I bring, and they can fit in my pockets because I've got 2 pockets in these, which is wonderful. Technically a third at the back, I think, as well, but I've not used that one yet. I'm gonna have another drink of water before I go, and I'm gonna put my shoes on, obviously, before I go, and then I will speak to you after. The other thing, so I'm looking forward to the cupcakes when I get back, and I'm looking forward to a good shower when I get back. I am, excited, I'm ready. Everyone, sing! I'm sweaty and hot and I'm gonna drink some water and I'm gonna cool down, like stretch, and I'll either talk to you before the shower or after the shower, we shall see. I might have a cupcake before I shower. I don't like the sun. Hello, the hair is doing whatever the hair wants to do. I look like I've been in the shower, but I haven't. I just wanted to put on a different top because I was so gross and sweaty and I just felt like, ugh. And I last week started using a special towel to like wipe off my sweat when I come home, and that has been so nice. And so I just like wiped everything and put on my pajama top from the last week, which is gonna go in the wash after to now anyway, like when I jump in the shower. I've got my chocolate muffin, which smells a little bit burnt, so maybe I put it in the microwave for too long, although it was only 20 seconds, so I don't know. This run, first of all, it's 7:35, so it's taken an hour and a half for a 5 kilometer run. That's from getting home and like committing to doing it. Obviously I did speak to you guys as well, but I also haven't showered yet. So like, just to give you an idea, and this has sort of inspired me that maybe at some point I'll do a full sort of video of sort of getting home and ready for a run to the point where I'm finished like in the shower and time stamping everything, just so you can see how long like everything takes. This is the problem, like a run is never just short because I am thorough reasonably, or I try to be, with my warm-up and especially with my cool down. So it just means that a half-hour run takes an hour and a half. I mean, I can definitely do a lot of these steps quicker, like if I'm more on a time pressure, because I was taking my time even more. And also, we'll come to this a little bit more in a moment, but I stopped my run more or less bang on 5 kilometers. But then I still had to walk home, which wasn't super far, but like usually I stop my run when I get home. So that would have added probably an extra couple of minutes. This is yummy. Let's have a look at the run. Now, was this my 39th or my 40th run? Who knows? I'll put it as 39th run for now. What's the day? Thursday, or this evening, even though it's kind of afternoon, but we'll call it evening. I mean, it was after 6. This was a training run again. It felt... I'm enjoying this Strava thing. How did it feel? It felt, in fact, let me talk to you about that. Oh, I just want this piece of chocolate. It started off pretty good. I would say the first kilometer and a bit, I was feeling really good. And I was like, I can keep doing this. And then it got to about 1.6 kilometers maybe. I don't know, I didn't check. But I was a bit like, can we get to 2 kilometers now? That'd be great. And it was still a good few hundred meters away from 2 kilometers. So that was a little bit frustrating. I took a different route as well today, and after the around the 2 kilometer mark, sort of between 2 and 3, I would say, was more or less a straight line, and that was lovely. Like, I really like straight lines, and it was a slightly wider path than what I'm used to, except in the park, obviously, but I'm talking about roads. And it was flat, and I've discovered that there's not a lot of flat around where I live. Everything's quite hilly. I don't like hills. I really don't. So that stretch felt really good again, because I was like, yeah, I'm just like chilling, listening to my music, having a great time. Like I can keep doing this. The only thing I will say before I continue is that my leg did start to hurt a little bit, the same place, sort of again around that 1.5 kilometer mark. But it was so minimal that I was like, I don't want to stop for this. We'll see if I regret that. I will keep you posted, but I'm hoping that it was okay. It's really hard to know the balance between like pushing yourself too far, but also, you know, pushing yourself a little bit so that it does strengthen and get used to it again. I don't know. If I had the money, I would hire a professional trainer with all this, but I don't. So there you go. I'm definitely going to end up with chocolate on my teeth or mouth. And by going this different route, I discovered a new park. It was a park I knew about, and I knew I could get to it. But I don't think it's ever been a park that I've run in, or at least not a full lap. I've done like maybe one stretch. And it was quite nice, actually. I might go back there. And I think it was slightly bigger than the park I usually run in, which felt good because then, you know, each lap, like, you get further. So that was nice. But then, to get out of the park, I had to run uphill, and I wasn't happy about that. And I ran to the next park, and by that point I could feel I was tired. By this point, I think it was just before the 4 kilometer mark, and I was just like, I don't want to keep going. I have to keep going. I will keep going. And also, what I could tell myself was if I do one lap around this second park, then that's all I need to do, and then I can run home. Like, that's it, theoretically, and that's correct. And the 4 kilometer mark, I think, hit a little bit further than I wanted it to. But I said to myself, I will do... Did I do a full lap, or did I do half a lap? I think I only did half a lap, because where it hit was like halfway through the lap. So I think I did half a lap, and then started going home. The problem with going home is that that stretch is like the steepest hill. I can't speak. And so I was dreading it a little bit because I really didn't want to stop to walk. I was tired, but I also knew I could keep going, especially if it had been flat. Like, I reckon I could have probably done 6, if not more, if it had been flat. But it was not. It was hilly, and I did run up the hill, but I did take a slight detour, so it wasn't quite as steep immediately. Because my logic was, once I get to the 5 kilometer mark, as I said earlier, I will stop and walk. So like if I take a slight detour, which means it's more flat, it will be easier to run, and then I can walk up the hill. And that's exactly what I did, and it worked, and it actually brought me out closer to home than I expected. So that was all good. So in terms of how hard it wasn't too bad. I'm going to put it at like is this a 6 out of 10? I think so. Okay, let's see. Oh, I was right. It was my 39th run. Big 4-0 next time. Crazy. Crazy that I've done 40 runs almost. Crazy. That was another thing I was telling myself. Like, for me to even get to 3 kilometers and still be like, oh, this is easy, this is breezy, I can do this. 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 7.5 months ago, even 7 months ago, I never would have thought that would be possible. It took me so long to be able to run more than a kilometer without stopping. And now I've done it. Like, I'm so proud of myself. And not even I've done it, but like, I feel like I just casually did a 5K, you know? And again, like, that's mental to me. I was watching back a video, like one of my own old videos, yesterday or the day before, I can't remember when. And I've already forgotten now which video it was. It was from about 2 years ago, I think, maybe 3. And in it, I say something like, you'll never catch me running a marathon. And here I am training for a half. Ridiculous. I'm not going to run a full though. That ain't happening. This one was a little bit slower, but equally, like, I'm kind of happy to see that because it means that it's reflecting it accurately. Because my tempo, it says my average tempo was 7:10 per kilometer. And like, yeah, that's a little bit slower than I would have liked. It was more hilly, and I purposely wanted to take it slow. And like, it doesn't matter because I did it. And I really felt like I could keep going. It was just that the last bit was uphill. If it hadn't been, I definitely could have kept going. Oh, it just feels so good. Like, I don't care about my speed. I'm so glad I don't care about my speed. But let's have a look to see if we can see any more things. Okay, so it was 36 minutes total. It was just over 5 kilometers. It was 5.05. I might have another one of these. These are very nice, but maybe I'll wait till I've finished talking to you. Now, I think usually the inclination goes up to 75. Today, it went up to 78. I think the half marathon goes up to like 200. So we're gonna have to train for that. Yeah, usually it's 75. I got 7 badges. What does that even mean? Well, we'll have a look at those. Oh, it actually won't even show me. That's rude. Oh no, it does. I got my best 400 meters. I got my best half mile. I got my best kilometer. I got my best mile. Oh no, not my best. I got like my 3rd best. But I got my best 5K, shockingly, because this app hasn't recorded a 5K before. This is really interesting because for the first kilometer, I was purposely trying to go slow. My first kilometer, the average tempo, 6:26. Then for the second kilometer, it went up to 7:32, so I added a whole minute on that. Then 6:53, 7:32, and 7:21. That's crazy. And then again, I'll show you a little graph. I mean, I don't know if that helps anyone, but there you go. Yeah, so we did it. And honestly, like I said, I'm just proud to be able to do 5 kilometers without stopping. And hopefully next run, I'll do 6. And then I'll just keep building up from there. Although as I was in my 4th kilometer, or in my 5th kilometer, so like a 4.2, call it, I was thinking to myself, can I really do 5 times this? And as I was running, I was like, well, on the one hand, yeah, that seems doable, even if I have to stop to walk in between. But on the other hand, that feels crazy and impossible, and why? Like, why? Why am I doing this to myself? But we're gonna give it a go. And we've got months. We've got months to figure it out. We'll be fine. I will let you know how I'm feeling in the leg tomorrow. But for now, I'm happy I did that. I'm really, really happy I did that. And I'm gonna have another chocolate muffin. Bye.